She shattered her spine, fractured her skull,
Man.
broke her arm. She's in a wheelchair.
Man. She refuses to take accountability.
I remember I ended up getting drunk. I kept this secret because I know people would judge me. But even at night, I went to my baby daddy house and I tapped my son on his shoulders. My son said, I tapped him on his side, I said good night. And I was drunk as hell. It seemed like when I woke up from my coma, everybody lied to me and stuff. And then nothing, I don't know what I was plugging people. Was I a bully? Like, was people really scared of me or something? They got act hard, it's fine. That's fine. But it's like everybody knew I was drunk. They seen me leave. They see in the car park. I had somebody in my car, and they knew I was drunk. They let me leave, and then I dropped her off. And she said she didn't want to get no confrontation with me, because the one thing about me, when I'm buzzed, if I feel you coming at me funny or anything, I'm going to go ham on you. It don't matter if you're my fan or not, I don't care. It is what it is. We can be fans tomorrow, we not be fans. But it's the fact that people didn't stop me. It's the fact that people let me leave. It's the fact the people that put is did not say nothing. So if I would have died, if I would have died, it's okay. They so used to let you know. You act hard now because I'm like this. Y'all be so hard now. But why y'all didn't save me? This shit. You could have saved a life. If it was me, I wouldn't mind being a punching bag. I'm that loyal. I wouldn't mind being somebody punching bag. I don't care. As long as you save a life.
All right, guys. So I just want to start off by saying that I'm glad that she's recovering. It looks like she's making a full recovery. I hope that she ends up feeling a lot better because she looks like she's still in somewhat bad shape. But I just got to be completely honest. She's got to take accountability, man. If you go out, you decide to get in the car drunk, which is extremely selfish, ridiculously selfish, because not only do you put yourself in danger, you put everyone else in danger. Because there's so many stories that I've seen online of like normal people who are just trying to go to the grocery store, just doing something random at night. They get hit by a drunk driver and they lose their life. And it's not their fault at all because one person decides to be selfish. So I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for people who jump in the car and who are completely drunk out of their mind.
Yeah.
It just really annoys me the fact that she's not taking accountability because one of the things that she states in this video is that her mouth is very disrespectful and that a lot of people are afraid to tell her something because she's very disrespectful. So she kind of is answering her own question of why no one stopped her is because she has a tendency to be disrespectful. So it's like, because if you were less disrespectful, people probably would have said something to you. But even regardless, even if they didn't, it's still your accountability. You don't need to be drunk driving at all. So, I mean,
I agree with you that she's not taking accountability and that she should, and that I agree with you on that 100%.
yeah.
With that being said, I will say this. No matter how much of a smart mouth she had or has, or how much of a bully she claims she was, or how much bad behavior how poorly she behaved, because let's be honest, a lot of these reality stars on this 11 hip-hop shows, they tend to be like that. That's why they're on the shows. They have these personalities that are very brash and just kind of annoying and just, I don't know, just kind of be, just to be...
Yeah, obnoxious. They're obnoxious.
Yeah.
They're obnoxious.
So that being said, I understand where she's coming from when she says her family didn't want to stop her because of that reason. But if you have a friend or family member who is drunk or tipsy and or tired and you know they shouldn't be driving, you got to stop him. Even if you had to hold her down as a family and just deal with it in the morning, you got to stop him because stuff like this can happen. I do say she needs to take accountability, 100%.
Yeah.
I agree with you. But I will also say that as a friend or family or whatever, you got to also step into if you know that they're not in the right state to drive, period. I mean, if she starts swinging on you, I mean, just hold her down, lock her in a room or something. I don't know, but it's a shame it's a shame it takes this to get someone like her to realize that her behavior is just
It's inexcusable, and it just goes to show you how one bad behavior can lead to a bad consequence. Because you gotta think about it. All started from her having really toxic behavior of her not being able to communicate very effectively with people, and then that moved into like, okay, well, people don't want to check you anymore because when they do, it ends up being a problem. So then you got to the point where people are just like this. So if it's gotten to the problem where people are just like this, that lets you know that you probably have a history of being very toxic to certain people. And not only that, but like you probably take it to a level to a point where people can't stand it.
Yeah.
So that means like she's had more than enough chances, more than one chance, more than two chances, more than three chances, more than four chances. Like,
Yeah, I see your point. You're like, okay, this.
you know.
Yeah.
And then not only that, that also leads me to think that this is probably not her first time doing this either.
Doubt it.
So.
Yeah, I know. Ultimately, the accountability does fall at her feet, 100%. It's sad that it takes this to make her sober up.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Because now she's saying she wants to go out and be, a spokesperson for people to make them realize that, don't do what she does. And that's all great. And hopefully that works. And there are people their lives are saved because of it. But the fact you have to go through this and almost lose your life. She shattered her spine, fractured her skull, broke her arm. She's in a wheelchair.
Man.
The way the story goes, she said that she fell asleep at the wheel. She was tipsy. She didn't say drunk. Maybe she's just saying that to kind of play it down a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, whatever. She said she was driving back to her home in Los Angeles from Las Vegas, and she hit head on.
That is a long drive.
What she did. And she went, and so she said that she got lost at one point, I guess. So because she got lost, it took her longer than normal.
Yeah.
So she was tired, fell asleep at the wheel, went head on with a truck, one of those big semis that carry trucks. They'll carry new cars to and from, like,
Yeah, well, yeah, she's definitely lucky to be alive. That is.
She said she thought she was going around like 90 miles per hour, and she went through the windshield. And then the car caught on fire. I'm like, yo, how bad does the story get? So maybe it's good she went through the windshield, because if she was in the car, she would have been burned alive. So
Yeah. Oh
but
my
like,
gosh.
dude, maybe she's here for a reason. Maybe she's here to tell the story and just, save people. But yeah, man, bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's so lucky to be alive. That's crazy.
She's real lucky.
That's crazy. And just in case some of you guys are unfamiliar with her name is Apple Watts.
Yeah.
I think she was a former stripper and a P star at some point in time. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the same thing. A lot of these reality TV people, you really can't tell them a whole lot. They think they run the world. Not saying that she's a bad person, because she's probably, I mean, people are just people. You got their good parts, you got their bad parts. As toxic as she seems to be, she probably has a very, good side to her that a lot of people do like. It's just unfortunate that it has to get to a point where, I mean, listen, there's some people, I give this example all the time to people. It's like, have you ever seen kids? Have you ever seen like a bunch of little kids? There's some kids that bump their head and then they learn from it immediately. There's some kids that watch another kid bump their head, and then they're like, all right, well, I'm not going to do that. And then there's some kids that got to bump their head so many times that they end up getting a bruise, to the point where you're just kind of like, well, why did it take you this many times to hit your head before you learned? I think that's just her at the end of the day. Some people are just stubborn. Some people literally have to hit their head so hard to a point where they have a hard time thinking for them to learn something. And it seems to be just her.
Yeah. I mean, this analogy is pretty on point, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, ultimately, guys, I'm gonna say that I mean, it's obvious she made a bad decision. She made a bad decision, but she just has to take accountability. And if she's to the point where she can't take accountability, she just still has a lot of growing she got to do. Because it's so blatantly obvious that, like, I mean, it's her fault.
Yeah, it is ultimately her fault. Ultimately, she needs to take the utmost accountability, 100%. Do what you can as a friend and family member to stop it. At the end of the day, if you can't, I mean, yeah, this is a bad decision on her part.
All right, decision makers, if you think she made a good decision, leave a like, leave a comment. You probably need your head checked out. If you think she made a bad decision, leave a like, leave a comment. All right, decision makers, be safe.